Welcome to the Mindset Mile podcast, the show that'll leave you empowered to take action towards becoming the turned up version of your already awesome self. I'm your host, Aisha Zaza, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's go. Hey friend, welcome back to the Mindset Mile. It's mid-March, which means at the end of this month, we will be a quarter of the way through the year. Can you believe that? Time is such a funny thing. In some ways, it feels like certain things were a very long time ago, while simultaneously feeling like they were yesterday. There's a part of me that feels a little peeved at how frequently we talk about time and how it is allegedly flying by so fast. I've made a conscious effort recently to not bring this up anymore because I feel like all it ever does is make me feel anxious that I'm not living in the present moment as much as I can be. And I also feel like this is just a universal feeling. We don't need to always bring it up. I haven't ever met anyone that when you bring up how fast time is passing, who's like, I actually feel like time is passing so slowly and I'm just not sure how to fill all my time, right? But we talk about it like it's the weather. It's small talk and an automatic response anytime someone says that their kids are getting so big or that Christmas is only a month away or that they're coming up on their 5 or 10 or 20-year anniversary. But the reality is, time isn't moving any faster than it ever has in the history of time. It is moving at the same pace it always has, 1 second at a time. What changes is our perception of time. And that could be for a number of things, like when you've got a big deadline at work, or if your work environment is very fast paced, or when there's like a big life event coming up. It seems like when there are milestones on the calendar, they kind of creep up on us, no matter how much time there was to plan for them. Or it might even be because of something monumental that has happened in the past. Like the years it's been since you graduated college or when you lost someone special in your life. It could feel like time since then, has passed in a blink of an eye. I personally find that having my daughter has made me hyper aware of time passing because, like everyone says, they grow up so quickly. And to think just 18 months ago, she was a helpless newborn that depended on us for literally every single thing, compared to how independent she is now, and she's learning words and absorbing everything like a sponge, and she's just all over the place. And I know I'll feel this even stronger when she turns 5 and 6 and 7 and 18, and I'm sure I'm going to be reminded of it then too. It's a true testament to how much can change in such a short period of time with absolutely anything. I mean, think about what I just said. In 18 months, my daughter went from a helpless newborn infant to a walking, climbing, talking, food eating, brain comprehending, opinionated person in just 18 months. I mean, it's truly incredible. And here's where it gets ironic. Even though we feel like time passes quickly, when we look forward and some amount of time and effort stands between where we are now and where we want to be, we usually default to the thought that it's going to take too much time. When I tell people they could start a side business today, and if they worked it consistently for 18 months, it could give them time and financial flexibility, a lot of the time they say to me, that's just too much time. I don't have time to work this for 18 months. Or let's say if I told you that if you eliminated dairy, gluten, alcohol, processed sugar, and inflammatory oils and foods for 6 months and exercised 4 times a week, that you could lose the weight that you wanted or be off those prescription medicines and, just be in a better mental state. Or if you just stuck with a training plan, you could go from never running a mile in your life to running a full marathon if that's what you wanted to do. But oftentimes I met with 6 months? Aisha, are you crazy? That's so long. But it goes by fast, remember? My point here is stop letting the amount of time something will take you stop you from moving forward in making change in your life. Even if whatever it was took a couple of years or a few years, will your future self thank you for doing it? It goes by in a blink. And time is going to pass with or without your decision to change whatever it is you're unhappy with. So I want to ask you, what will you regret not doing in a year from now? What will you regret not doing 5 years from now, 10 years from now? At the end of your life, what will you regret that you didn't do with your one life here? I was reading an article by a social worker who worked in hospice for 6 years, which she described as the most profound and meaningful years of her life. And she said that over the 6 years that she worked there were certain disappointments that were expressed time and time again with her patients. And they wished they had been more loving to the people who mattered most. They wished they had been a better spouse, parent, or child. They wished they had not spent so much time working. They wished they had taken more risks. They wished they had been happier and enjoyed life more instead of worrying about things beyond their control. They wished they had taken better care of themselves. They wished they had the courage to live the life that was true to themselves instead of ones that others expected them to live. They wished they had done more for others. And they wished they had chosen more meaningful work, not just sticking with something year after year to pay the bills, but instead had chosen work that was in line with their passion and purpose. Friend, this life is short. The problem is you think you have time to keep putting these things off. I'll do it next year. I'll start on the 1st. I'll be happy when. If you find these exit doors frequently when you're feeling that tug at your heart to pull the trigger, I want to remind you that our time is finite. It is not an endless resource. And what could life look like if you got to the end of it and did not have the same regrets that I just listed above? Or to put it in more perspective, what would it look like if you do? Listen, you can fix mistakes. You can improve your skills. You can improve your confidence. You can change things as you go. Pain, uncertainty, and discomfort don't last forever. But you know what does? Regret. There will never be a perfect time. You create it. I want to encourage you to go all in on yourself. Nobody, and I mean nobody, cares about the quality of your life more than you. And if you've been with me from the beginning, you probably know what I'm going to say next. Someday is not a day of the week. So the time to get moving is now, because you were made for greatness. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. Tag me on Insta so I can see your beautiful journey. I can't wait to see you next week. And until then, make it a great day.